Yo guys, what's up? So when we talk about smartwatches, people are always trying to compare Android OS with the Apple Watch OS, but this time we got something totally different. We got Huawei's own operating system running on their latest Huawei Watch GT, which we're going to be unboxing and looking through the features with what they have to offer. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Yo guys, so we got the Huawei Watch GT right in front of us. So this runs on, as I said, Huawei's own operating system. So take a look at the back over here. We got a stainless steel color with a saddle brown leather silicone strap. So that's what we're gonna be dealing with. So let's just get into it now. So I haven't actually heard of this watch before. I just got it and I was like, hey, let's just try it out. So because it's different, right? It doesn't have Wear OS or something like that. So I'm really curious to see how the operating system looks. Okay, so interesting boxing. We got, okay, let's just put that to the side. Alright, open this. Okay, so it opens like that. And then I believe the paperwork is in here. Okay, so we got USB Type-C charger, which is awesome. Alright, so they know that they've updated their chargers. Alright, and this is probably the thing you use to charge your device. Alright, so it doesn't seem like a wireless charger to me. In fact, let's just open this up. Alright, yeah, so it has two pins, as you can see, right? So that's probably the point of contact where you're gonna attach to the watch, and that's how it's gonna charge magnetically. And so we just got some manual, some paperwork. No one's trying to look at that, seriously. Like, I don't know, like, those are just so lame, I don't even look at them. Alright, so let's put everything away. Alright, so here's the Huawei Watch GT. It's light, it's really light. Much lighter than my Gear S3 that I'm sporting on right now. Alright, so let's start this up. Not really sure which button to press, but let's just go ahead and see. Okay, so it's started up now. Alright, so while this starts up, looking over a few specs, right? It's got a 1.4 inch AMOLED color screen with a resolution of 454 by 454, PPI of 326. So that's pretty nice. It's also got wireless charging. Not wireless, but you see the two pins, right? So it's almost wireless charging. Alright, and then the internal memory is a bit disappointing because it only has 128 megabytes, which is like barely enough to have even a song in there, and the RAM is legit only 16 megabytes. So that's like, bruh, seriously? And then the sensors, it's got an accelerometer, a gyroscope, a magnetometer, an optical heart rate sensor, an ambient light sensor, and a barometer. Alright, so the accelerometer is probably gonna help with like your fitness and your running, alright, for all of you that do that. The gyroscope is basically to measure balance in 3D space. Alright, we got the optical heart rate sensor. We already know it better have that, right? Because like all smartwatches have it. Ambient light sensor for like display, right? And then the barometer to see how the air pressure is doing. It's also got NFC, so you should theoretically be able to pay. But since it's Huawei's own on watch OS, you don't really have that many supported platforms to pay from. Also, this watch is iOS and Android capable, so that's pretty nice to know because many of us, we have one or the other, so it's nice to know that it does both. Now for the battery life, this is where the watch really stands out. It's got 14 days for typical use, right, based on what Huawei claims, but then it can last up to multiple days on like on normal uses. All right, and also it's 5 meters water resistant. All right, so that's useful to have because what I feel is that like if a watch doesn't have water resistancy, like it's really limited because I take my watch out and I'm gonna be washing my hands or I'm gonna be swimming or something, and like I'm not gonna take my watch off, and like if you have to take your watch out every time you wash your hands or something because you're afraid of like damaging its internals, like that's like a rip-off, man. Like you gotta have water resistance, and this watch does have it, so that's good on Huawei for including that. The straps are also interchangeable, so that's pretty nice. All right, because if you don't like this brown leather strap, you can always change it for like those magnetic ones or like the ones that have loops in them or any kind of things that you want to customize your watch with. So that's pretty nice. You can really customize it to how you like it. All right, so let's just start it up. All right, it has a unique interface. All right, so we have the notifications, but the front page is a bit different. All right, let's swipe heart rate, weather, footsteps, I guess. More footsteps at the bottom. I don't know what that is. On top, notifications. Let's look at the apps. All right, so it doesn't have a lot of apps. It has the basic, the clocks, right, the timers, the alarms, the weather, the world clock, right, the health fitness activities. All right, let's compare this with the Gear S3. All right, so we're just gonna put this on. Yeah, so wearing both of them on either wrist, I can clearly tell that the Huawei watch is so much lighter, and it actually feels like, okay, there's just the watch over there. The Gear S3 feels like, okay, there's a piece of tech I'm wearing that's a little bit bulky. Alright, but the Huawei watch just feels like a simple watch I'm just wearing on my wrist. It doesn't feel like, okay, this is like heavy or something. I gotta be careful for it. And I think I prefer that more. I prefer that it just be a watch and not get in the way that much. Because at the end of the day, I don't want it to like bother me, right? So I think the Huawei watch does that really well. So for the health features, you gotta pair up with the health app, which is available on iOS and Android too, which is Huawei's own app. So you gotta pair that up, and that's what it syncs to. It's also compatible with Apple Health Kit, alright? So if you're trying to track all your things in one place, so that's pretty handy for iOS users. Overall though, I think it looks really nice. I think compared to the Gear S3, which has like a sporty kind of look to it, it has like a sophisticated kind of a modern look to it, rather than the ruggedness or the what would you say? I'd say like sportiness. Yeah, I think that would be really nice to wear. Sportiness of the Gear S3 versus the sophistication and the simple but elegant design of the Huawei Watch GT. And since it's not watchOS or something, it doesn't have a lot of watch faces to choose from, so you're kind of limited by that. It also doesn't have always on display, so that's pretty a bummer, because I use always on display pretty often, because like it's nice that you have your watch on if your battery can support it, because you know, like your watch, if a real watch is always on, right, you can always tell the time, you don't have to turn it on. So this one you gotta flick your wrist up and then it turns on. Alright, so charging is pretty simple. All you gotta do is plop it onto the magnetic charger, and it adjusts itself to make the north and south go with each other. And even if it's not, then it just the forces are working in a way that it makes it such that it falls on the right way. So it's pretty simple. It's not hard. We're not gonna get into the physics of magnetisms, but basically that's how it works. I still prefer wireless chargers though, because they're just that much simpler. But this one's not bad either. So the performance is pretty good. Like it doesn't lag at all. Like you open some kind of apps, activity record or sleeping apps or something, it doesn't lag. But since it has such a low refresh rate, it looks like it's lagging or it looks like it's choppy. But that's just the way the watch is designed, and that's probably why it have such a high battery lifetime, right? Because it doesn't refresh a lot. So if you don't know, refresh basically means how many. It's like FPS, right? So imagine getting 30 FPS. You're used to seeing 60 FPS on your phone, but then you go to the watch and all of a sudden you're seeing like 20 FPS or 15 FPS. It's consistent, but it's just low. So that's kind of a bummer to look out for. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As usual, like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. We're going to be doing another watch comparison with this and a few other watches that we're going to be comparing on this channel. So make sure you have your notifications turned on for that. Also, if you found any kind of clues in this channel to what our next video would be, leave those down in the comment section too, and we'll give you a shout out next time. Alright, until then, see ya guys.